place that can come close, no place I'd rather be. Everything is feeling right, life so perfectly warmed up with drops of sun, all the colors so upbeat. Everything is feeling right, this will be hard to beat. I know where I will be. This is all that I'll ever need. Alive and free, I'm feeling it, free, so free. The life's so bright, this is where I'll be. Whoa. The sun is shining bright, life's good, it's hard to believe. Everything is feeling bright, this will be hard to beat. I know where I will be, this is all that I'll ever need. Alive and free, I'm feeling it, free, so free. The life's so bright, this is where I'll be. Whoa, alive and free, I'm feeling it, free, so free. Life's so bright, this is where I'll be. Whoa.
Hello.
Boys,
How's the mess?
we're doing our final fine session. Hello everybody, hello, there's the champ, hello champ.
Hello.
Paul, Dead, all brothers. Leon is a snitch today. Ronnie, good drums. Did about the 18. Peter, this guy. This guy.
Which guy?
Robert.
How's it?
Ruby. Everybody is Nikki, there's Carl. It doesn't end, the list goes on. There's the Fines Master Fats. Here's our prizes. Jorian Fat. And then it just keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going.
Alive and free, I'm feeling it, free, so free.
If that doesn't wet your lips, I don't know what will. We have 7 days in counting to the Duckhook Classic, the 2021 edition, back to Highland Gate, and we are very excited. I'm not alone. I'm joined by a great panel that was going to take you through everything that you need to know about the Classic coming up. But that's not the only thing that's happened recently. We just had the Players' Championship at Serengeti this past Friday, so we've got to touch on that because our normal panelist is here with us, and I'm sure he has even more to say once it's sunk in about his victory, his first major victory, and we all know who that is. And what else do we have? Well, we have a bit of a Ryder Cup that we just want to say, what happened to Team Europe? So, as I mentioned, I'm not alone. I have my esteemed full house here today, everybody. Hello, give us a wave.
Hello, gents.
So, if you haven't noticed, on the top is Team Maz, because I can. And there's Leon, my vice captain. There's Basil.
Did we
you
not
and my
be on the
team.
top?
Go Team Maz.
Not this time
Go
round.
Team
Fats.
Maz.
Team Fats at the bottom. Hello, Fats. His vice captain, Paul Ricketts. Thanks for joining us.
Howdy.
And as always, Donnie Geldenes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gentlemen, let's not get beat around the bush. Let's find out, first of all, I'm going to say one word. Annihilation. Yes?
Absolutely.
Annihilation.
Team USA!
It makes
The
you
Americans just, I don't know, they were on a different level last week and just thumped the Europeans.
Yeah. So for all those guys who I did the video and got a prediction for, and I think 95% went for Europe. 6 got it wrong. Don't open a bookmaking account, I can tell you that much. Okay, before we run off and start covering everything, we've got the guys really, really excited. Hanu's on the line, and he says, he was there, he says, evening boys, 7 days to the biggest golf party ever. You are right. The biggest golf party. Louis Jensen. Good evening, gents. Well done to you, Basil. About time. Yes, we agree with you. And then we have many of our regulars watching today. Shannon, hello, it is showtime. Barry, we are ready for the Classic. Of course, and obviously Barry is on Team Fats' side. So I need a plenty Team Mazes. Hashtag. Hoi, hoi, hoi.
Winning side,
Us
Team Maz.
bluff. Right. Before we move on to the Classic, as promised, Basil, it's been a couple of days now. Tell me, how you feeling?
It's been a good few days. It's taken me 3 days to recover from the birthday weekend, and I've got to go back to the gym twice a day because trophies are starting to get heavy, Maz. So I think to start off the Classic, we already one trophy up for Team Maz, so we're going to represent hard, and this might be my glass for the week. So yeah, for who of you think I should take this to the Classic and drink out of it? You know, so I think that's a great idea.
It would be a good idea if you could drink though, Max.
Paul, you know I can drink, man.
I wanna see the first down on that. Whoa.
Yeah.
Full up.
I just want to say for Team Bass, we've got 3 major trophies represented on the show. So
I want to just speak to Tim over here. Yes, Tim, it might seem like this might be the only shirt I have, but I can tell you what, it doesn't fade out with a green screen, so this is the neatest one that always looks pretty. So, in case you're wondering. Okay, so we all know it went to a playoff. 3 guys finished in a tie for the lead, but 2 competed in the playoff. And this is the results of the day. Basil Wright, +1. Leon van Aarde, +1. Garfield Hendricks, +1. Jacques Gravenstein needed a putt on the last on the par 3 9th to get into the playoff. Adam Ford was also right next to the green on the 18th, and he needed, I think he needed a bogey to get into the playoff, and unfortunately, did not happen. Flicky Barnett, steady as always, +3. Donny in another top 10 finish. Ronnie Walherter, +4, including an unbelievable hole-in-one, which we'll have a look at. Russell Tandy was on the 17th behind me when he was -1, and he finished +4. So that is unfortunate for him. So
Again.
yes, again, Serengeti seems to have his number. So if obviously you don't know or haven't seen what happened in the playoff hole, we've been keeping it for today. So let's have a bit of a recap and see what happened.
So yeah, we're on the playoff hole, the 19. We both tied on +1, and yeah, Leon played well. I'll give you a shot, and may the best player win. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Yes, have a good one.
Let's do it.
Leon!
3 shots for it.
Cool.
Talk us through it.
Just gonna put it on the green, take my par, and see what happens.
What's the distance?
I've got 99. Sit.
Basil, how are you feeling at this moment?
Yeah, great, it's great. Great birthday present. As you can hear, the guys are singing for me. Yeah, played really well today, and unfortunate for Leon. Great camaraderie and just great company. We We had some good golf today, some pressure, a bit of adrenaline, which I haven't had in a while. So it's also good to see how I compose myself. And yeah, unfortunate for Leon again, and great way to finish my birthday.
Duckhook, first Duckhook victory, making it a major even more special.
Yeah, fantastic. It's always good to get the first win under the belt. It's a great community, you know, great bunch of guys, and they've always, you know, backed me to win and finally cross the line for them, which would be great.
There it is. What a good atmosphere we had. It's always great to have everybody around the green cheering on the champion.
Yeah, happy birthday for the day.
Am I right in saying that's only the second playoff we've had in a major?
Yeah, it was a fantastic outing, and the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is keeping this trophy clean for the whole annual. So it's well worth the wait, and especially being part of the Duckhook community. It was only a matter of time, you know, before I won, but I would like to win in minus figures in the future. So we'll looking forward to some low 60 rounds to beat the guys. But all in all, thank you guys for the support. It was a fantastic time out.
I've always said that the lower handicappers, the plus handicappers, the majors is where they can come to the fore, because in a medal competition, Fats, you can't make mistakes, and they should not make mistakes.
Yeah, that's very true, Maz. The higher handicappers tend to have one or two holes where they blow out, and then in a major they can't just pick up after 2 or 3 over. They've got to carry on, and sometimes it gets into double figures, and that sets you back quite a bit. But I'm also surprised with the higher handicappers like Leon van Aarde. I mean, also finishing on +1. A few majors we've had the higher handicappers in contention, which is great to see as well. But yeah, most of the majors do get won by lower to mid handicappers.
Look, against at the end of the day as well, I can tell you, I was with Leon on the playoff hole, and he was absolutely cacking himself. Absolutely. And he drank beer all day thinking he's out of it and stuff like that, and all of a sudden he's got to go up against a pro on a playoff hole. He didn't want to do it.
Very intimidating.
But he had the shots. It's unfortunately that he went left. So he will, I'm sure, Leon, I know you're watching, I'm sure you will learn from
he
that.
Had the shots to the day as well.
The biggest, if I could just chuck in a bit of a comment there, what Leon went through in the playoff will ease up his game just in a normal social round. I can guarantee you he's not going to make a big deal of, he doesn't make big deals of the events, but the normal Duckhook events, it's going to be a little bit easier for him. So I don't doubt that he might win up and coming events until the end of the season. So yeah, maybe Summer Cup, who knows?
Who knows?
No, I want to agree there with you guys. I mean, once you've been putting the pressure cooker in how to...
You know how to handle the heat.
Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely going to change his game around. And yeah, I see him up in the winner's seconds.
That wasn't the only awesome thing that happened at Serengeti. If you haven't heard, we had another hole-in-one, the 11th hole-in-one in the Duckhook history. So onto the honours board he goes. Ronnie Volhert on the par 3 5th. Where the pin was almost impossible. So he didn't see it go in, but that pin placing to get a hole-in-one, wow, that's unbelievable stuff, gents.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it was a nice tucked hole there.
Totally tucked. So this was the
Especially
moment.
with that slightly green.
Ronnie, wat het jy gedoen?
Well, how do you compensate for 11? Just shoot a 1 and a 3,
Yeah, boy. Congrats.
Well, can you believe it? Well, it's my first hole-in-one ever, so yeah, I'm very chuffed about it. Here's the lucky ball. I actually had a very good round going today. I was in red, and then I came to I think it was the 3rd or 4th par 5, and I made 11 there, 6 over. So I was kind of the moeren for myself. And when I came to the 5th hole, I thought, what's the use of playing safe? Just go for it. I used a 7-iron. I think it was 160 something into the hole. Hit a nice lazy draw. It bounced, and I couldn't see the hole. All the guys told me it was close, but I mean, a couple of times you think it's close, and it ran by and stuff like that. And we went up there, and I just couldn't find my ball. And everybody told me, no, it's in. And I didn't believe it, and yeah, I went to look at the hole, and there it was. So, I mean, to get your first hole in one on a major at Serengeti, on a fifth hole, which was quite a difficult hole. No, I'm feeling very chuffed. At my home, I've got a nice bar with all my golf memorabilia and stuff like that. And I mean, this is going to take prime spot in it. So no, I'm very chuffed. I mean, like I said, I've been playing golf since I'm 13. So I've been playing 23 years, and this is my first hole in one. So no, I'm very chuffed.
And thank you for all the drinks afterwards, Ronnie. I'm sure your insurance will be getting in contact with you. Who has had a hole in one on this panel? 1, 2, 3.
I've had 2 on the simulator.
Oh, but that doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
3 in real life.
Donnie, I can't believe you don't have a hole in one. After all this time.
Yeah, missed out a couple of times. Very close. But
Sure.
Magic number 100.
There's always the classic.
there we go.
Well, yeah, sure. I don't know if that's the one that you want to hit a hole in one on.
Absolutely. That's where I would love my first one.
You might not make it to day 2.
Wouldn't
that's
mind an albatross next one.
Right, so
Make it on day 3.
yeah, make it on day 3, then get hammered. Okay, so that is, we've got that out of the way. The players' champion for this year is Basil Wright, but we're all here for one reason, and one reason only. It is the
Invert.
2021 Classic.
It's so good with my 9 twice.
There's the captains, me and Fats. Fats, are we ready to do this? First of all, thank you to everybody who's joined. We've got a record field of 55 players, currently 1 space available.
Yeah, Maz, absolutely looking forward to it. It's been over a year since we've started organising and getting the dates ready for this year. We're, I think, 11 players more than we were last year on tour. So that's great to see. Thanks for all the newbies joining us, and I'm sure it's not going to be their last. Highland Gate is a very special place. I mean, we were up there about 3 weeks ago again, and my wife also can't stop talking about the beauty of Highland Gate. And then, 55 Oaks playing medal, it's just going to be insane.
It's going to be absolutely insane. I can't wait for Wednesday morning. Let's have a look at the quick history of the Classic. We've had 5 events. 2015 was the first one at Reimsig. Jason Ivens, not really a tour, but see how it grows from there. 2017, Fats, you took the title at Pairings and Val-de-Grâce. 2018, Dani Geldenes at Coral Creek. 2019, Martinus Becker with an unbelievable playoff with Dani Geldenes on the 9th hole, which we all do remember. And 2020, Leon Oosthuizen taking it on the final hole. Pressure. That's all I can say. It was one of those where we had probably three guys in the running, and once the cameras came out and it came down to the last 2, wow, the pressure made people buckle, and it happens every time. Leon, quickly describe pressure for you, and have you felt that type of pressure again?
Yeah, Maz, it's unbelievable pressure, especially if the cameras are so on you. But yeah, it's a cooking pot, to be honest. And I think one of my secrets was that I just stayed focused and just ignored the cameras. So I would say that would be the perfect recipe and secret to the final holes on the last day.
Well, you might say that, but after I show this little video of the final hole, I don't think your description of pressure is going to exactly define what you just said. Taking the aggressive play of the tee, Leon pulls his drive slightly and a bad bounce, seeing his ball go into the unforgiving long grass.
We hope it goes into the bunker.
Owen, we're standing here on the 18th. Tell us what happened.
Look, the nerves got to me. I couldn't even get off the tee. I should have clubbed up because I had a lucky second shot, but I chunked my third shot into the water. My 5th shot into the water, so yeah, I think I played against myself there.
After taking a drop, Leon navigates his 3rd shot to the bottom of the 18th fairway and working out how many shots he needs to take the victory, simply needing 3 shots to guarantee the win, but again, handling the pressure is key.
So Leon's next shot. Right. After declaring the ball lost, another penalty drop at the back of the green, leaving him an awkward, nerve-wracking chip. Cornell Erasmus, after leading most of day 3, sets himself an eagle putt to take his score to +9 and put the pressure on Leon. Playing partner Ewald van Wyk wrapping up his tournament on +10 for a good showing at his first 54-hole tournament. It comes down to this. After a nail-biting finish, Leon Oosthuizen is left with 3 putts to take the 2020 Classic title. Leon, Classic champion, tell me how you're feeling right now.
It's haven't sunk in yet. Just glad to have all the oats from the duckies here. Yeah, I think tonight we're gonna have a lekker party just to have it. My first win on Duckhook. Yeah, so it's my maiden. So I'm quite excited. And thank you for all the guys from Duckies.
Let the guys cheer you in.
So just watching that, as you can see, the pressure got to just about everybody coming down the 18th. And yes, we will have the cameras out again. We've got Kobus Skuman, who always takes up a role, and we try to cover the last 3 holes and see what happens. Kobus, I'll be waiting for you. We've got Amber with us. She'll be filming a lot. Maybe we can get a documentary out of it this time. Well, we'll see.
Even Dorian were in the way last time.
Ah, Dorian was there, but he's not here to help. That should be a fine. Please sign him up. Next year, I'm in Maz from Nico Kruger, getting better. Each week, scores are coming down nicely. I don't know Nico, what are you waiting for to become a scratch? Let's put it in perspective. Leon, when you played that classic, you were 25 handicap, and now you're down 10 shots to a 15. That's pretty good going in the last year.
Oh, well, Bas, I must give the Brotherhood of Duckhook credit for that. Last year and a half, I must say, the guys has that fire and the hunger to better their golf. So, yeah, I think everybody's out there to practice. And, yeah, I think this year's Classic is going to be one of those testimonies where the level of golf picked up quite rapidly, to be honest.
Donnie, before we go on to the itinerary, which Fetch is going to take us through, you have been in that situation many, many times. Tell us about the pressure at the Corrie Creek. I can't really remember the scores. Was there pressure coming in?
Yeah, there was. If I remember correctly, Wayne was actually in front. I was behind him. And I think he had like a 3 or 4 shot lead. And I think, if I remember correctly, he did have a bit of a bad night the night before. And I think the tank just started to run empty there. Because he actually hit his ball on 17, if I remember correctly, left in the hazard. And that's where I overtook him on that hole. And then on the last hole also, it's like he had a bit of a blemish. So, yes, it was a bit of pressure going down the last. But, you know, by the time I got to the green, you know, making I think it was a birdie or regulation par, you know, it was just, yeah, it's like shaking over that small putt, you know, to tap it in. Yeah, it was pressure.
Wayne woke up with a 3-piece suite on top of his head.
Paulie, have you, with all your second places, I don't know if you're going to manage the pressure when you have that pressure putt coming up. You're probably going to fall over.
By the time I get to the second place and I mean a chance to win it, I'm already half cut. So there's no pressure on my head then. It's just play it. And usually I'm half cut, and that's when it falls apart on the back nine as well. So maybe I'll stay teetotal for 3 days.
Maybe you'll win the Classic. That would be the ultimate. Fats. Okay, it's time to go through the itinerary. take us through it. There's lots to understand and know going into these 3 days.
Yes, thanks, Maz. So I think it's important for the guys. I know we're a big group to study this and just try and follow as far as we can, just to get a bit of structure into the classic, along with all the fun on the side as well. So our tee-offs are going to be 10 o'clock in the mornings. So on day one, we would ask the guys to try be there, 8:30, 9 o'clock latest. Because 9:30 we're going to meet at the driving range every year. I'm going to go through the rules, the course rules, because obviously there's a couple of holes where you hit over the court where they do have drop zones, but the rest of the time it's point of entry into the bushes if you can't find your ball. So we just need to clarify all that and make sure everybody's on the same level of the rules of the local golf course there. And then, like I said, 10 o'clock will be the first tee off. Everybody should be finished by 4:30, 5 o'clock. We won't have any groups behind us, which is going to be good this year, so Fairley won't be chasing us down the fairways or down the rough. And then we did have a meeting with the general manager about 3 weeks ago. So 8 o'clock they'll open the venue for us, and the guys can go start having their seats and so on. We're going to have 8-seater tables.
6 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
Well, sorry?
You said 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, just to confirm.
At 6 o'clock, we're going to have 8-seater tables in the venue. So we're going to have 2 4-balls sitting together at the same table, and then they're going to do fines between them, the first 2 4-balls and then 2 4-balls, etc., etc. Then we're just going to do some announcements in the evenings, go through the scores, low scores of the day, pins, etc. Have dinner, and then we can take it from there for the rest of the evening. And then, the first night we will hand out the tour shirts. Let's just go back to the itinerary there. First day as well, we're going to tee off from the seniors, the blue tees. That's what's going to be really interesting, I think. A couple of short holes, a couple of drivable par fours, definitely from the blue tees. Guys will be off lower handicaps, but it is going to be much easier from the blue. Second day, we're going to play off the back, the pro tees, the yellow tees. It's also really interesting on the second day, moving day, see what happens with the scores. Some guys thrive from playing at the back, other guys just fall apart because it's a little bit too long for them. And then same schedule for the evening. 6 o'clock venue opens, we're going to do announcements, a bit of prize giving, fines, and have dinner. And then on the third day, we would like to ask everybody our tour shirts, which we're going to hand out on the first night, the red ones, that everybody wears that on day 3. We want to take a photo, a group photo on the last morning, about 20 to 10 before the tee-offs. That'll also be on the driving range. And then there's obviously the last days of golf. Ask everybody to gather around the 18th when the winner comes in. Hopefully there's another playoff, but that's always exciting. And then dinner, and then tour fines and prize giving. And enjoy the evening from there.
Let's just recap on those 2 NBs that was on that graphic. 1, lunch is included.
Yes.
So it's already a set menu.
Day 1, so day 1, we're going to have, I think, prego and a beer or a soft drink, Coke if you would like a Coke. Day 2, same. And then day 3 is doing burries. And I think because it's a bit cheaper for a burry, we're getting 2 beers each or 2 drinks each.
And then regarding fines, we've negotiated with the club that we can bring 4 beers in.
Yes.
And then after that, we need to support the club.
It was really nice from him to agree with that. Don't bring more than 4 beers in. We don't want to cause any problems with the management there. I think it's more than fair that we could take 4 beers in each night for fines. So let's not take advantage of that.
Okay, great. So I think that's pretty much everything. Everybody on the same page so far. Very good.
Yes.
We spoke about. No, we're not going. We're going to speak about some of the stats. This was with the players we had last year, 2020. 2,592 holes were played in 3 days. There was only 1 eagle out of all those, and that belonged to Donnie on the par 5 18th. Donnie,
we need to change that.
Yes, definitely.
I can't remember what day that was, Donnie.
It was the second day.
Second day. Most birdies, of course, will be from Bazalrite 9, so I'm sure you will look to improve on that. 80 birdies on tour in 3 days. And 35 of the 48 players. So we are looking to improve those stats tremendously. So we'll make sure that we recap, because we will have a recap of the Classic afterwards, and we'll look at all the cool stats and so on. Now, the importance of the handicap before we get to the teams, etc., and the day one tee-off times in the pairings. The importance of the handicaps. How's it going to work, Fats?
So basically we tried to explain to the guys the best we can on paper, but it's always difficult to read something and understand it. But I think most guys will be playing off Saga, most probably, because the course is such a low slope rating. So what we're going to do is, work out your handicap of the club tees, which is the white, on your Saga index. So let's say, for instance, your Saga is a 9, your index. After calculating off the white tees, then they calculate it off the blue, and you're going to be one lower, so you're going to be an 8 there. But then we need to make the same adjustments on your Duckhook handicap for players that do play off their Duckhook handicaps. So you're going to lose one shot of the blue tees on that handicap, so we're going to take one off your Duckhook handicap. If your Duckhook handicap is an 8, then you'll become a 7. And then the same for the yellow tees. If your Saga handicap is calculated to a 9 and your Duckhook is an 8, and then off yellow your Saga will be a 13, so that's 4 more than the club tee. So then we're going to add the 4 shots onto your Duckhook handicap as well, which will bring you take the difference the Saga handicap gives you, calculated on the different tee boxes, and then you just make the same adjustment on your Duckhook handicap, and then you still play off the lower of the 2.
Okay, there we go. Wow, we just had the biggest bang of thunder here, and everybody just jumped. I don't know if you had it in your area, but sure, the lights flickered and everything.
Lots of wind.
Lots of wind. All right. Ryan says, loving the handicaps and the tee situation. It's going to be great fun. So a few of us were at.
Yeah, sorry, can I just add one last thing to the handicaps?
Go for it.
So on Tuesday we'll calculate the handicaps for all 3 days. So we're not going to take the scores on day 1, day 2, and calculate for day 3 again. So your handicap will be calculated for all 3 days before we go on tour. For the guys that's going to play golf on the Tuesday before tour, we will double check that on Wednesday morning. But yeah, so you'll know your handicap for all 3 days before we start playing.
We've got a question from Mona Kelly. Will the handicaps be right on Golf Game Book of the day? Of course they will be right. What kind of question is that? We've got...
but we still need guys to put in the scorecards, just in case, because we never know.
Yes, please. Okay, so when we went up
no
there...
other fill in the scorecards.
When we went up there, like Fats mentioned a few weeks ago, we wanted to test it out in the par 3 third to see the distance, for example, between the blue and the pro tees. And this is kind of what it looks like.
Challenge this year is we're going to play off all 3 tee boxes. So we're going to play off the blue tee boxes, then off the back, the pro tees, and then last day we'll play off the white, which is the normal club tees. And a good example of that challenge this year, we were at the par 3 third here over the gorge. It's a daunting hole from the club tees. Now you can move to the pro tees, and that's the difference going to be between like a 6 iron and an 8 iron from the front there, with the wind blowing. And then you also get the blue tees, which is going to be a 9 iron. So yeah, it's a massive difference. And I think it's going to be an interesting challenge this year from all 3 tee boxes. Pro tees from the back here. It's 179 to the pin. Now Fricky's standing over there. Let's shoot him. 42 meters difference. A little bit left, but it should be good there. Yeah, so 42 meters is a big difference. Playing off the blue, I think I've got 138 in. Easy 9. It doesn't look that daunting from this side. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Hopefully I can get it on the green. I think it's on the green. I'm happy. Great shot, Fricky, but it looks like we're in the same spot there. Looks like it, eh? Let's see when we get there. Right, so I think my ball landed about in this area, just short of the green. Got a
little bit of a bounce right. Ended up about 7 meters from the pin, so really happy with the result from the Pro Tees. I think I'm about 4 meters away, so yeah, see if I can hopefully bird this. That's going to give me a line, so we'll see.
Ricky and Fats, bad misses.
Yeah, bad misses. We've got echoing thunder coming from every block, so it's really hitting Gauteng fantastically well.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, yeah, with a high handicap on day 2, it's a 3-pointer.
Other holes we'll have a look at. Obviously, we'll have a look at the stroke 1. We played with the back on that day, and if I'm not mistaken, it was almost 80 meters between the difference, Fats?
It's 142 meters between the yellow and the blue tees.
Are you kidding me? Wow, that's like a whole par 3 extra.
Exactly.
Wow, and there's some holes there's not much of an advantage, but there are some holes that really is going to stick out. For instance, the 16th. So get ready to drop. I will be one of them on the other side, or just before the gorge.
Depending on the wind.
Depending on the wind,
Yes.
but it always howls into us on the 16th.
It does.
Somehow. I don't think I've ever
Never played it with us.
No.
Yes. So, Basil, how are you going to approach this, the different tee boxes?
I'm going to play the aggressive game regardless of where the tee boxes are. The fairways are wide. The par 3s is going to be a little tricky. And yeah, just the lines and the aggressive lines that you need to take off the tees. That's the major concern. I'm not quite sure how the greens are going to be when we get there. But it's just if you don't get intimidated by the scenery and the views that you have, and just commit to your lines off the tee, it should be a good week out. But yeah, my game plan is to be as aggressive as possible. But we're going to have to watch the breeze. Apparently, we might have some rain there, so that's going to change.
Don't mention weather.
There's blue skies. What are you talking about?
It's going to be so tempting for a lot of guys from the blue tees to go for the par 4s. When we went around the other day, I had a look. I think it's going to be about 4 par 4s, maybe 5, which is drivable, which is going to be about 300, 320, 280 from the blue tees. So I reckon there's going to be a lot of guys being tempted to go for it. Either they're going to pull it off, or yeah, they're going to make some big scores on those little holes.
Well, 1 and 2 is easily for the boys. So there's big scores on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, those holes that are probably drivable will probably be my plus strokes. So I'm forced to treat them as par 3s. So it's just one of those things. I'm not coming there for a haircut, so I'm going to try and go.
You don't need a haircut.
We know you're
Coming
going
to Brandy Vein.
You won't be pulling out the 8-iron off a tee box.
Final
No,
comment
not
on
at
this,
all.
Donnie. You're pretty much in the same boat as Basil. You're going to be playing off plus numbers when it comes to probably the white and the blues. How are you going to approach it?
Yeah, obviously it's like I'm not a person that's that aggressive like Basil. I like to say I do think my way around the course. If it's a tricky hole, it's like I'd rather try and play safe. Make the shot easier into the green for 2. There's a couple of holes that's got my numbers there. So it's going to be interesting when I get to those holes. So yeah, the par 4 just before the stroke 1 is like you get that short par 3, and that par 4, that one's got my number. Doesn't matter if I hit an 8-iron or a driver. So I might have to try and hit a putter off the tee box or something.
Take a wedge.
Yeah.
Okay. If you did not know, there's a bridge that has been put on the 18th in honor of Ernie Els, and it's supposed to represent like St. Andrews, the Swilken Bridge. And we obviously had to get to have a look at the bridge and see what it's all about. So Fats caught up with Leon on the bridge and asked him about his tournament last year.
Inspired by the legendary Swilken Bridge at St. Andrews, we're here at Highland Gate with the newly built Big Easy Bridge. This year we've got 54 players competing for the Duckhook Classic, where the champion will be walking across this bridge on day 3. I'm here with the 2020 champion, Leon Oosthuizen. Leon, what memories comes back to you from last year's Classic, standing here on the 18th?
First I would say obviously the brotherhood from the Duckhook side. I mean, it was 3 days of spectacular sportsmanship, a brotherhood that's unexplainable to anybody that hasn't partaken in this event. And I mean, yeah, the beauty of the schools, the layout, everything, it's just something that will stay in my memory for my lasting days, if so. So this course is definitely one of my favorite courses, if not the favorite course. I'm happy hunting ground.
Totally agree with you as my favorite course as well. And then for 2021 as defending champion, have you got a game plan? What's the story?
I've been working on my handicap to get it down and all that stuff. So obviously my game plan from the start will obviously be trying to play as low as possible. Obviously due to the fact that this event is a medal game. So and obviously make sure each and every shot that we're going to play counts. So you know, just try and play golf, enjoy the day, all the 3 days, and yeah, if I do reach the top, I'll be over the moon. But yeah, we all know that Highland Gates and the Classic is quite a challenge to defend. But yeah, I'll try my utmost best to be there. So I'm looking forward to it.
I want to share a story with you now. So we get there and we've got our partners with us. We're sitting at the top there on the balcony, and we're going off about this bridge, and we're going off, and 5 minutes later, I cannot remember whose lovely wife it was, she turns to us and she says, "All this for a bridge?" I promise you,
remember that.
we sat there and we looked at each other and we thought, crap, she's right. All this for a bridge. So it was very, very funny. I think it might have been Fricky's wife actually that turned to us and said, "All this for a bridge." We've got a comment here from Edouard. Does somebody want to answer this? What about the guy that carries a driver 150 downhill with the wind, most likely?
You're stuffed.
Then, rather save a ball, take a drop, play your third, and carry on.
Yeah.
No, you have to hit it.
You never know, that one might be the one day you crack it.
I would just say, go and buy yourself some 2 rand balls at any pro shop that's just really old.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
It's a Wilson ball.
They got dimples left.
No, man, give him some constructive advice, man. Just hit it 60 meters onto the ladies' tee and then hit it over the gorge.
That'll work.
Pass, but it's the same. Let him
Lay
drop
up.
and then he can hit from the drop.
Yeah.
Similar shot.
Okay, it's time to
Good
recap
luck.
Fats and Man's team. We're going to start with Fats' team. Fats, Paul is your vice captain. So as you go through this, I want you to pick out a few players where you think you're going to get your points. Now, if we don't, I'm going to go to this first. If you don't know how it works, it's the combined IS points that your players make for each team that gets totaled. And then we get the total for day one. As you can see, day one, we got beat by quite a bit by Team Fats. Day two, similar. And then day three, we managed to pull it back. But at the end, Fats won by 88 points. So, in saying that, Fats, take us through your team.
Yeah, first of all, Paul is vice captain again. Got to stick to a winning formula. He's been my vice captain for the last 2 years and got 2 victories behind the belt. Yeah, and then obviously going through the names, I tried to pick a lot of players that were on my team last year as well, so they know what it's about. Consistent players as well. You know, you look at the guys throughout the season, you know, averaging 32, 34 points per event. So you know they're always gonna bring some points to the board. Yeah, just to like Billy Hall, I know his handicap's come down a little bit, but he's been really, really solid. Yeah, so he was one of my first picks for my team as well. Paulie?
Exactly, and you got Ryan and Hanno there, good long hitters, consistent players. If Hanno can stick to a fairway, that is. But also someone like Russell. Russell plays well. If he can keep it together for two of the 3 days, then we're going to take this team game quite comfortably. And of course, you got Dana, not Dana. Well, we got Dana as well, but Donnie, Mr. Consistency himself. What more do we need?
Yeah, and then the Jaco Jacobs and Jan Vent are good mates as well. And they've also, I've played with them a couple of times. Also, you know, 2 solid players. Every time I've played with them or saw them at the events, it was 34, 35, 36, 37 points. So I think that was the main aim for picking our team, is all the consistent and solid players. Even Nicky Valentfoot, I mean, he's been playing really well lately.
He has been.
But it's a nice mix of low, medium, and high handicappers as well, and all of them are performing at one point through the season. So it's quite a good little mix-up.
Exactly.
Monet says, go Team Fats. Sepp, who's not on tour with us, but he's obviously supporting Team Fats. Come on.
Go Seppy!
Graham de Villiers, Team Fats for the third year for the win. We will be changing that, Mr. Westhuizen, because this is our team that we are looking at after we did the draw. And our team, as I mentioned, Leon is my vice captain. Then we got Bobby van der Spey, very solid golfer as well. He's always up there, 30 plus points. Basil, you're on my team. I'm expecting big things from you. Frikkie Barnett, always steady. I've got Frikkie Steyn as well. Heinrich Butters, Gerrit Maritz, hopefully he gets it right. Jack Lamb from Durban. Jacques Gravenstein, we've got points with him in the bag. JP, please have a couple of good rounds, because he's one of those. He either goes missing or he plays well. Karuna can be steady. Kero, look forward to having you on the team. Louis Gerber, steady if he does not make a 12 on the 14th. Mitchell, his first tour. Nick Cantel, we can only pray. Peter de Klerk, Peter Prinsloo should do the job. And then just running through the rest, and I'll get your comments, Leon. Peter van Wyk, Randall Chetty, Reinhard Skuman, welcome to the tour, your first one. Also in the team with Father Cobus Skuman. Ryan Jensen's on the team, Rich Holman, Ronnie Volherter, Tim Garner, and Trevor Miller. Who do you see as well performing here, Leon?
Oh, well, Maz, my first opinion would be the guys that can play in winning conditions. So obviously my money will be on the guys from the coast, from the Durban League. And then, we've got a few guys that can hit the ball quite far. Basil there, Tim Gardner, Reinhard Skuman, and all those oaks. And then, I think the money should be on the guys that's been traveling around, like Kevin Miller, whatsoever, that's been used to different conditions. I think that is part of Highland Gates that makes it so spectacular, is that you can have summer, winter, whatever day on a different day. So I think wind conditions is the secret here. So if you can play the wind, I think we're in the money there. But I think we've got a few guys that can play.
One thing I can say about our team is that everybody's got a very good chance of carrying 16 when they have to. Team Fats, on the other hand, there's a couple faders.
And your point is what?
Don't fade it.
Good luck, Paul.
I always get across it.
Fats, I think what we need to do is, I'll just go quietly to all the guys that are fitted in Team Maz. Just talk quietly in the ears, give some advice, tweaks on the drivers, just to say, that's going to be better.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'll start with Maz.
Sounds like a plan.
Day one pairings, the all-important day one pairings. Who tees off first? And then we go down the list, because it's a lot of four balls. And we are 10-minute intervals starting at 10. Are we ready to see the pairings already 1 week ahead of time? Well, here they are, starting on the first tee. Fats, you start off with Morné O'Kelly and Grant Nell. I've paired them with Nick Cantel and Peter de Klerk. I actually don't know where this will go. But good luck
I
to
think
those.
it was just fitting the way things have been going on our classic WhatsApp group, that Morné Kelly will be hitting the very first tee shot of the 2021.
Definitely.
Second up, Graham de
I
Villiers.
can't really see the names, so if you can just go through the first three balls.
Sure, I'll go through them. Second off, Graham de Villiers is paired with Aldo Ferree. They will take on Gerrit Maritz and Basil. So Basil, you're off quite early. Donna Perumal and Russell Tandy for Team Fats will take on Jacques Gravenstein and Frikkie Barnard. You can see that we've been kind of kind, because after day one, you don't know who you're going to play with, because it's really from worst tees or first to the guys who are leading. So moving on to 10:30, Paul Vickery and son Tyrone Vickery is playing with Jack Lamp and Frikkie Steyn. Then Hansi Armand partners up with Peter Schutter, taking on Reinhard and Cobus Skuman. 10:50, Kevin O and Ryan Esmond will take on Tim Gardner and JP Atwood. 11 o'clock, 1 hour later, Hanno Oosthuizen and Dani Geldenhuys will take on Louis Gerber and Heinrich Boetis. Then the captains and vice captains go off at 10 past 11. Fats and Paul versus Maz and Leon. And then as
Easy.
there's the spot
Easy
that's
peasy.
available, gentlemen. So if you're watching this and you're licking your lips, you'll join Randall. They'll take on Edwan, and from Durban, all the way from Durban, Santosh Belshud. Barry Fenter and Carl van der Meulen will take on Peter Prinsloo and Ronnie Vollerter. Ewald van Wyk, Henry Hall will take on Trevor Miller and Peter van Wyk. Godfrey Wad Mayer and Charlie Rothman will take on Kerry O'Connell and Bobby van der Spey. Billy Hall and Nicky Vandergoed take on Ryan Jensen and Richard Holman. And in the final four-ball, Jan Venter and Jaco Jacobs takes on Mitchell St. Sau and Trevor Miller. Anything you need to say about that one?
Listen, quick one on there. You got Fricky Steyn playing against the Vickeries. Now, Fricky works for the Vickeries in that day. So I might have a little chat to them and say about withholding bonuses if he performs too well.
Don't worry, Fricky, I'll help you with your bonus.
Just for the guys playing Highland Gate for the first time, looking at the tee sheet, they only do one tee start. So that's the reason why we all tee off number one.
Okay. I wanted to say something and then I was interrupted. And at this stage, it's gone. Pins for the day.
Well done, Paulie! Team Maz on the back foot already.
There we go. Closest to the pins. These are the pins for the 3 days. Par 4 second will be the closest in 2. Off the blue, I'm sure you could reach, some of us. Par 3 third straight afterwards, and the Par 3 13th will be the pins on day 1. Let's move to day 2. Par 3 7th, where the bunkers kill us because they are so fluffy and so elevated. Or not elevated, deep, should I say. Par 4 12th. Donnie, your favorite hole. Maybe you get closest in 2 on the day. Par 3 15th is my favorite hole. I think I made a 10 on this hole before. Gorge. Par 3 15th. Look at the pins for day 3. Par 3 third, we're back onto that one, and then the closest in 2 is the Par 4 16th. That's his favorite hole. We'll have a look at a flyover of that shortly, and the Par 3 17th to end up day 3. So we are almost done. I just want to show you the first tee, gents. This is what you can expect when you're about to tee off. The seniors is we've just gone past the seniors, and this is it. It's not very, the widest fairway maybe that you'll find. So it's nice. You should hit it straight.
It's a nice setting hole for Highland Gate, which is brilliant.
They're definitely setting up everyone for failure.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I think, like I said, from the blue tees, it might be reachable from the blue tees for some guys as well on the first hole.
Yeah, could
and I think it's also a great hole for the nervous shots because you've got that bunkers there on the right hand side and then the run out of fairway on the left hand side. So you need to be accurate on the first shot. So warm up, guys.
But on the eye, it's a very wide fairway, so I think it's quite an easy-going first tee shot as well compared to some of the other holes.
Okay.
That's fair enough.
Then everybody speaks about the 14th. Well, let's have a look at the 14th. And I'm going to show you a little challenge that we had on the 14th of the Pro Tees. This is what you're faced with, gentlemen, and this is off the whites, let me tell you. But as we had said, it's actually easier off the back because there's more of a fairway to hit. And it kind of slopes. So if you're hitting it with a fade, you better start left.
Absolutely. From the yellow tees at the back, you got that wideish fairway where you can pitch the ball from the white. You got to go 3 wood, 2 iron, even 5 wood. Otherwise, you're going to reach that narrow part of the fairway, which you really, really don't want. And then again, from the blue, it's going to be easy to carry that onto the next piece of fairway. So that's going to be interesting to see if the guys are going to go for that. And then easy shot for 2 into the green.
I think what Fats, just to give my a little bit of comment there, I think what also makes it hole quite difficult is that it actually slopes left to right. So your first bounce has the tendency to go right towards the little stream there. So I think the guys just need to favour the left-hand side of that fairway.
And the wind is confusing on that hole. Sometimes you don't even feel it on the tee box, but as your ball flies, you just see it go either left or right. So wind there is a big factor on that hole.
But the biggest thing for the guys is to not lose sight that they have a stroke on that hole.
Yes.
You know, that's the most important thing. You make a 6 there, you've done no harm.
A lot of guys with double stroke as well. I mean, they can make a 7 for 2.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, those who double stroke, you know, they can have, they could go at it and still come out with 2 points.
Yeah.
True story.
And I would just also add, just to make sure that manage manage that hole accordingly. I think the biggest secret on that hole is to go with your gut and don't shoot your gut down. So if it tells you to hit an iron just for safekeeping, rather go with that. That narrow side of that stroke one will bite you. As I said, it slows down to the water. So rather just go with your gut and manage it accordingly.
As I mentioned, we had a bit of a challenge on the 14, and this is what happened. Okay, Fats up first. Can he hit the fairway? Cut. It's up there somewhere. No?
Ja, hy came out. Hy's on die fairway. Middle fairway. Hy's in die middel van die fairway. Hy's bietjie regs. Hy's daar. Hy's in die middel. Mayday, 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 mayday. Hy's in sy kant.
Go on.
Ek hoop hy bounce left. Ek is seker hy het left gebounce.
Yeah, no, that's gone. We don't need people to watch where that's going to end.
Got us. Yes!
Hey, Mazo!
That's a little beauty.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, shot.
That's how we do it, man. Oh, net te los.
Stroke 1, 4 players, 25 shots, 3 sixes, 1 7. Not really good enough. Well, there you have it. It is the 14th. So, lots to look forward to, gentlemen. 7 days away. That's it for the classic preview show. We've had a great fun being here with you and in your lounge. Final words, gents. Let's smash it through here.
Let's have a beer on it between this panel. Team Fats and Team Maz, beer.
Done. I'm in.
Done. Every day.
Every day.
Day.
Every day we'll get up.
Yeah.
The captain and the vice captain will get up. The losers will have their dops. I am happy with that.
Good stuff.
Oh, man, thanks for putting together a great show. I think it's brilliant for the guys that haven't been on tour before to see what they have to look forward to. And it's just going to be an amazing tour. Thanks to the panel for joining us again tonight. Looking forward to it. 1 week to go.
The final comment I'm going to leave with Mona Curly. I have been practicing a lot for this tour. Oh yes, I will play golf in between as well. Oh, okay. Sorry, maybe that shouldn't have been the final comment. Sorry. Okay, that's it. So, we will see you on Sunday. Don't forget, Ibotsi Series 1 is back in action at Ibotsi. We've got a growing field and it's got plenty to look forward to. So we will see you then. The player pack will probably go out tomorrow or Friday. And then we're off. And then a couple of days later, we're doing the classic. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, guys.
The countdown to the 6th edition of the Duckhook Classic has begun. Highland Gate is once again the home of the Classic for the ultimate test of golf. A record field will battle it out over 3 days and 54 holes, where every shot counts. 3 days of medal golf and camaraderie. Who has the grit to be the best? Who will conquer? It's the 2021 Duckhook Classic at Highland Gate.